Just found out today from a neighbor of mine that there was a possibility that Jamestown Village might be impacted by this decision. I support you there, Roderick, on your basic plan. I live in the neighborhood, I don't support Jamestown. Several years ago, there was a variance that a firm tried to get to add some more housing in that facility. We were able to, I feel like, as neighbors, we were able to squash that. So today, I took a ride down Walnut Street, which is where Jamestown is. There's Walnut Hollow Apartments, there's Paradise Club Apartments, there's the Residence Walnut Apartments, Walnut Bay Apartments, there's the Yellow Clan at Walnut Apartments, there's the Walnut Cove Townhome, there's the Jamestown Village Apartments. That's on one side of the street. On the other side, there's several other villages as well. I just can't see adding any more residents to that street. It's heavily trafficked. There's going to be a new hotel built there, right down the street. There's Malden Elementary. Speed limit's 40 miles an hour. You know, we all see with limits. I mean, we can go a little bit faster than that. It's crazy on that street. So I don't agree with Jamestown. I don't know if you can find somewhere else to take it. I know you already got some agreement in place. But
I think one of the things I would just like to add is that Jamestown is one of the challengers to the plan. So they filed suit, and we have an obligation for affordable housing, and they were the ones who filed suit to say, hey, look, we can meet that obligation, and we want to be in the plan. And those people, those developers come first, the ones who challenge it. Does that make sense? I don't know, maybe Mr. Zignaro could do a better job of explaining how they were they sued, right? Correct, or?
That's correct. So we're currently in a program that's in courts. Multiple developers came forward, and they are one of the multiple developers that would potentially challenge and continue to question the entire plan and put us at jeopardy of losing our immunity, beginning immediately. So one of the benefits, besides providing affordable housing within the existing area, is that we're able to resolve a challenge that could be brought by and pursued by that developer that knocks out the entire plan. So that was a major risk that we had to consider.
thanks for listening to my concern. Thank you.
Council President, please tell him how many units are going to go there.
40.
So
40.
So they're not going to add to the existing building. They're going to have to add a structure to house those extra 40 units.
it's actually a really interesting structure. So what we did was they're providing new affordables, and they're also committing to converting some existing some existing units that are already there. They're converting them into affordable restricted units. So we're meeting our obligation to go through some new construction that's going to be built on site, and also we're achieving our numbers by converting several units in the existing structure over to affordable, so we're able to protect units that are already existing in Jamestown.
And just FYI, I contacted the mayor this past year due to water issues on my property because of the lack of runoff, or because of the runoff on the road and the property next to me. And I foresee if you add more buildings there, there needs to be some, the water runoff has to be addressed. There's got to be a retention pond or something.
So just one item. Every municipality has the obligation to create the zoning for these mechanisms. A developer submits their site plan application, they still need to show engineering. So that whole process, those land use protections, and ensure there's proper review of these site plans, it's still all there. Our obligation is to create the zoning opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Phil Brilliant, 79 Allergy Lane, Council President. So actually, clarification on that one. So there's 40 affordable units, but how many actual units in the new structure?
So typically in New Jersey, municipalities are held to a 20% set aside. So in Toms River, you have 20% set aside. So in this case, we held them to exactly.
No, we got better than that, we had 40% set aside on this one. On Jamestown, 39,
Right.
or something like that, so
So 79 units is all we're building?
we got 39 or 40% set aside, which means, it's like 2 to 1. So they'll probably put up one building, in among all those other buildings, they'll add one more building. And I didn't know about I didn't know the details about the other older units, but it's a very good deal. 40% set aside is, very, very, very high.
Very much, very
Yeah.
much. So a couple, so that would be 10 units to be built, but I can't do that math in my head, so I'm gonna go back. But my real question was twofold. One is, you talked about, this is the one that popped in my head, the 134, if I remember correctly, to be built. The Fair Share Housing asked that they be built on Route 70. I didn't know if they got to direct where the building is going.
This whole process, like, I never met the guy from Jamestown. You don't meet anybody, like, they come to you with this, like, the extensions. They came to us with extensions and they said, hey, look, rather than extending these deed restrictions, we have these other deed restrictions and this other development that we would like you to extend. I don't know how they knew them either.
Well, I'm talking about the new development.
Basic,
134.
Basically, the lawyers will hash all this stuff out. There are people that as soon as you have around, so I have people calling me today. So they come forward and they say, hey, I can do this much. And it's all through the lawyers. So,
So Fair Share Housing didn't say put it on Route 70. It's,
these are all different plans that are all part of a negotiation, right? I'm not even in the room for this stuff.
and the other question, I'm sure the attorneys are here, and most people get paid the big bucks. And the other question is, so I think it's $9 million relative to the cost for the deed extensions.
No, you're from the Housing Trust Fund, maybe?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's this
Yeah,
fund
it's
that.
not taxpayer money, I understand that.
It's developers' money.
Developers' money.
The people that built the last round, they paid all the tax.
So my question would be is, that's to cover the extensions of the deeds that are necessary, 470 or something like that?
Actually, it's over 500 now, because we did another 70, so 448 and 70, a little over 500, 510, something like that.
And in looking on it from that side, the time we were past today, we were also curious if these extensions of pilots on all of these, up to
Now,
that 6 years.
I don't believe it's on all, but whatever had a pilot to bring the
So the pilots are
initial,
expiring, you're extending them 20 years.
anybody that had a pilot asked to extend as part of extending the control. So the pilot is given initially by the prior administrations, right, to build the affordable housing. And to keep the affordable housing, some people did request an extension of those.
Do we have any idea of what that value will be in most taxes to come with?
Well, that's a great point, but I'll just counter that with another
I
point.
don't know
If we had to build 1,700 units of affordable housing, you'd have to give people a lot of piles, that would have a major impact on the taxpayers, a lot more than the extension of the existing pilots. Right, because you'd have to put all those kids in school, you'd have to do garbage service for everybody, you'd have to police all that. You'd be talking about 6,000 units, could you imagine the impact that would have in those pilots?
It's a good question,
That's what it
but
would-
however, like the mayor says, this shuts it down to 2035. And at that point, we would hope that's that year, correct, Mr. Zager, 2030?
So what these are, so the idea of the pilots, the idea of the statute is that you are having developers who have the opportunity to convert affordable units into market. You ask them to deed restrict those properties for 30 years, and they have to be pretty substantial, minimum, maximum rents. And you look at those numbers and take what they're gonna lose every single month over 30 years. It's a lot. And so the way the law has structured this is it's created the opportunity to extend pilots that are existing in order to make that possible so that a town like Toms River can achieve preservation through some type of incentive.
And those pilots, again, they're here, right? So that's what they're paying in tax already, so. And in some cases, some of these places we extended, Ms. Brilliant, they have senior citizens in there that are gonna lose their affordable unit, right? They're gonna go from paying market rate, paying $400 or $500 to potentially paying $2,500 a month. So these extensions also have a union component beyond the tax component, beyond a fair share. There are real people living
Yeah,
there.
there's definitely some units on that list that you can count, these need to be extended. And I guess this question, as the council is gonna vote tonight, what has been presented are some deals for the developers? Or
Well, that's a good question for the attorney. I think this whole
some
thing.
deals, or they're pending and calling, if the council approves, they'll sign on, if the council doesn't,
So what we were actually able to do through this process, we were actually before this council meeting, June, I can't remember how long ago, it must have been June. And we
June
actually,
3rd, it's my birthday.
maybe June 20th.
I assume.
June 30th. That was a different way to my point is, we had in some places 20-year deed restrictions, and what we've been able to do is get these developers to give us 30-year deed restrictions. So in some cases, you have MOAs that have not been signed. That's well, the copies currently in the packet are not signed, and that's because we were able to get a little bit more out of the negotiation process. So there still needs to be, these developers all need to bring a pilot applicant, a formal pilot extension. So, but
There'll be other votes, paperwork to be done.
there's paperwork.
There will be other votes.
Thank you for the time.
You're welcome. Any other speakers? Seeing none, motion to close public comment on this resolution. All in favor? Aye.
So that brings us to item 9, and that's a resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Toms River, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, ratifying the execution of a settlement agreement to resolve the challenge submitted by Fair Share Housing Center in opposition to the Township of Toms River's fourth round housing element and fair share plan under docket number OCN L 33125.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilwoman O'Toole, seconded by Councilman President Lamb. Councilwoman O'Toole. Council President Lamb.
This is a big win for the township. I want to thank the mayor and administration, also our Affordable Housing Council, worked really hard at this for almost, pushing 2 years. We're required the township to think outside the box. When I got at Mr. Zangaro several times and speaking to Peter Pascarella and John Penny about this, it seems to be arguably the court's been moving the goal line with affordable housing. And it requires townships like Toms River that are large and already fulfilled big numbers, thousands of units, to think outside the box, and that's what we've done here. I vote yes.
Council Vice President Coleman.
Yes.
Councilman Byrne.
Yes.
Councilman Zukosi.
So, this is a huge, it's been going on in Toms River for decades, okay? It's a very touchy subject, and like the council president said, it's been going on almost for 2 years, but the first time I was ever brought on board or told what was going on was last Tuesday. Tonight was the first time I met the township's attorney. He seems very confident and knowledgeable. Don't hold his youth against him. But, he seems like a very smart guy. But I'm gonna take some time here, and I'm sorry, just give me a couple minutes. No, I'm not sorry. So, I want everybody to look back over the years. I have all these flyers here, okay, that were used against me, other people, actually against the mayor, all different kinds of parties, people. I have hundreds of them with the hard hats, how one person was overbuilding and stuff like that, and how one group of people were against other people because they were letting the building going on in Toms River. Build, special interests. And when we get in office, we're gonna stop it, we're gonna stop it.
That's what Frank did.
Okay, yeah, but this plan isn't isn't perfect, it's far from perfect,
Pretty close.
okay? No, it's not, that's true, okay? But what, in his letter, what he fails to tell you is the dollar amounts, what these developers are getting paid, and their extension on the property taxes. Each one of these units is getting paid big money. It's not perfect, but I'm pleasantly surprised. It's good, and it's kicking the can down the road for another 10 years. But hopefully, everyone's going to accept this, and it'll be good for Toms River. But the building's not, it's not stopping. I mean, it's been building for the last 2 years. It's going to go on again, but there's something that's even far worse than this, is the LLC house rentals that are going on in our town. We got 8 to 12 people living in these houses, no background checks for the most part, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars parked on the street, and it's changed our neighborhoods, especially my neighborhood off Brookside Drive up on Ocean View. So I'm going to vote yes on this.
Oh my God.
Yeah, thank you.
That's the first time you voted yes for anything I did then.
Well, I'm voting for the good,
Thank you.
for the benefit
Thank
of
you.
the
Thank you,
family,
Councilman Ivey.
not you.
Thank you, David.
For the record, the lawyer did it, not you, Dan.
All right, let's interrupt.
And we already have uncontrolled development. We haven't safeguarded anything.
Tom, is it your vote? I'm sorry.
For the benefit of the town, I vote yes.
Thank you, Tom.
Councilman Quintus?
James, hitting on this, this plan is a good idea. I think they did a good job putting it together. Hopefully, it's as impactful as we hope it is. But Mr. Roderick railed against pilot programs as he was running for mayor. He railed against it for years. He railed against overdevelopment. He hasn't stopped any development other than one project downtown. Ward 3 is riddled with developments that are continuing, and there are even more coming. He mentioned 7,000 potential units if we don't do the settlement, and he may be correct. But what he doesn't tell you is just because we accept this doesn't mean building's going to stop. If you own property, you're allowed to build on it, so it's not going to stop. He's not addressing the issue that he ran on, which was, I will stop overdevelopment. It's still going to continue. This just satisfies the affordable housing obligation for it. He railed against pilot programs. So he was either wrong about pilot programs then, which got him elected, or he's wrong about extending these pilot programs now. He either lied about it then, or he's lying about it now. And I hope to God that what he's saying, what this attorney over here is saying for us today, will help curb it. The other problem is most of these units that he's extending all these deed restrictions and giving the extension of rental units, most of these are in Ward 3. The 134 units that he wants to build on the Lakewood side, as if that doesn't count for some reason, if that's 20% of 80, we're talking about another 700 units that are going to be built over there. So based on all of this, I have to say no to this plan. But thank you for all your hard work on it.
I'm going to offer the mayor a rebuttal on that one, because I believe what we're discussing the last 2 years have been kind of a part, a rapid departure of what we're talking there. But Mayor,
I do hate pilots.
So do I.
A lot of fan pilots. Pilots, these apartments have already been granted. They'd be an extension along with the extension of the deed restrictions. The pilots were granted by the prior administrations. And again, we went through, I believe it was 45 or 6,000 units that built up in October. I do dislike it. I'm very much opposed to overdevelopment. I think those positions have been pretty clear regarding what this council and I have done, not only downtown, but with this plan, which prevents potentially 7,000 new apartments. So yes, there will be 134 units on the side of 70. Yes, there will be 40 more units in Jamestown, but we'd be avoiding 7,000 units. presumably those units would have gotten pilot programs as well, because otherwise folks might not build it. And you'd have to build it, and all of that would be determined by a court. So I think it's a very good deal. I certainly would have liked to have had 0 units. That was what we aimed for. But you know, when you shoot real high, even if you don't achieve that number that you're looking for, I think this number is a fantastic number. So,
Thank you very much.
I'm proud of what we've done.
Thank you. Mr. Henson? Let's move on.
Moving on to item number 10, ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Toms River, Ocean County, New Jersey, authorizing a lease agreement between the Township of Toms River and the Toms River Soccer Association for recreational purposes pursuant to NJSA 40A 1-15 for township land known as Block 298, Lot 5, for a term of 10 years with an option to renew for an additional 10-year period. This is a final reading, so we need public comment.
Lynn, we have to open up the floor for public comment. Does anybody have public comment regarding 10, please? Go ahead, Mr. White. It's okay.
I know you're tired of seeing me. Phil Brilliant, 79 College Lane. No objections to leasing in soccer, the soccer club. It's good. We need more soccer space in Toms River, need more soccer time. My concern though is, looking at this NJSA 40A:1-15, I cannot find it.
Mr. Pascarello?
I think it should be 40A:12-14, which is, consumer property.
All right.
And
Yes,
if-
sir.
so
That's what
like-
the legal requirement. We want to make sure it's right.
Yeah, I know my clock's ticking, so just, I think, if that's the case, it does no harm,
Mhm.
stop, withdraw, redo it. No one's gonna vote against the soccer field, but let's get it right. If
Mhm.
something happens and you get sued,
Mhm.
you're gonna, be talking to me.
Before I sign, I'll make sure that statute's correct. No problem. I'll rely on the legal department. Mr. Pascarello, we'll take a look at it and make sure.
But I don't think you should vote tonight, because if you. vote
I
tonight,
think,
you pass it.
I missed that. Do you mind repeating it, and maybe I can answer it? I'm sorry. I missed.
The statute used in the ordinance is incorrect.
In the title, it
It's in the
says.
title. Well, no, it's in the ordinance, because I have the ordinance.
Well, I think that
Could just be matter.
Incorrect
matter.
power.
I would argue
It
for
wasn't,
nuance.
it wasn't corrected
You
from the
don't
first
have to
time.
you don't have to re-vote on
No.
it. That's just a clerical error.
I don't argue, yeah. Scrivener's error. Mr.
Yeah,
Pascarello.
error the first time you read it, the second time you read it, and I didn't catch it last month, so I apologize.
I want to do this for the soccer.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, no.
worst case scenario, they would make us do it again, and then we'll do it again.
So that's what I'm saying, I think you should do it right the first time, as opposed to, just if something were to happen and you get sued, whatever it might be, it's a wrong statute.
And we don't know what they have going on.
I don't argue.
To this. Let's,
Yeah,
I was-
I'll leave it to the legal
Scribe-
department.
Scrivener's error.
I think we should
No big
we
deal.
should get it correct, that's my comment.
Thank you. Anybody else want to make comment then? Seeing none, closing public comment. All those in favor? Motion 10, please. Second. Roll call.
So motion made by Councilwoman O'Toole, seconded by Council President Lamb. Councilwoman O'Toole? Council President Lamb?
Yes.
Council Vice President Coleman?
Yeah.
Councilman Byrne?
Yes.
Councilman Zukosi?
Yes, with the correct
Yeah, just-
statute change.
Just if I can for the record, there was supposed to be a 2 after the 1. It's 40, just for the record, it's 40A:12-15.
Got it. Scrivener's error.
12-15.
Drafting error.
Councilman Iverson?
Yes.
Councilman Quinlan?
Yes.
Item number 11 is ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Toms River, Ocean County, New Jersey, amending and supplementing section 477-79, Schedule 21, speed limits of chapter 477, vehicle traffic of the Township Code, reducing the speed limit on Adams Avenue, Zone 2, between Vaughn Avenue and Bowie Place to promote enhanced vehicular pedestrian safety as follows. Adams Avenue, Zone 2, from 30 to 25 miles an hour between Vaughn Avenue and Bowie Place. Again, the final reading.
Anybody's, we got open public comment one time. So anybody have public comment for 11? Seeing none, we have a motion on the floor from Councilwoman O'Toole. Do I have a second?
Second. How do you hear the second? Second. Motion was made by Councilwoman O'Toole. Actually, just for the record, we need a motion. Can we do all in favor to close public comment?
All in favor of close public comment?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion to approve was made by Councilwoman O'Toole, seconded by Councilman Quinlan. Councilwoman O'Toole. Councilman Quinlan.
Yes.
Council President Lamb.
Just want to thank the chief of police who's in attendance tonight, as well as the engineering department, as well as the clerk's office and legal department as always to get this on. Adams Avenue has had a number of frequent accidents in the past, and we have to slow that speed limit down over there, so I appreciate getting that done. Hopefully we'll have the signs up shortly, the sign change, and I vote yes.
Council Vice President Coleman.
Yes.
Councilman Byrd.
Yes.
Councilman Sikosi.
Yes.
Councilman Iverson.
Yes.
Item number 12 is an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Toms River, Ocean County, New Jersey, authorizing the acquisition either by purchase or eminent domain of real property known as 1 Robbins Parkway, Block 668, Lot 13, Toms River, New Jersey, 01753, on the official tax map of the Township of Toms River, Ocean County, New Jersey. Again, final reading, so it's being public comment.
Anybody on the council have any questions as to why we're doing this?
I'm going to open up the public, Mr. Mutter.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mark Rutter, 53 Manor Road, Toms River. I ask that the ordinance be adopted for the simple reason of history, and here's why. The Water Street area where this property is located goes back far in our town's story. We all know of the story of the British attack during the Revolutionary War. Our town was left in ruins, but like the phoenix, it rose again. The oldest still existing structure in Toms River during this time of rebirth is the 1824 Warner House. It's right around the corner from here. And it's just a stone's throw away from the property you are to decide on tonight. In the 19th century, this area thrived. Structures were built along the water's edge, backing up to the river. There was the First National Bank of Toms River, 1881, Murray's Hardware Store, the local food market, and yes, even a bicycle shop. These were the days before the automobile coming to Toms River. And these buildings all did one thing. I have an aerial photograph of it to present to you. They blocked the riverfront. In 1905, a swampy spot on the other side of the river, behind the buildings, was acquired in a voter referendum. It was filled in and later became our first municipal park. In the 20th century, downtown grew, not at the river's edge, but along Main and Washington streets. It was a busy shopping hub. Those iconic photographs from the 1930s and 40s of vehicles parked front and in along those streets tell that part of the story. As the 20th century moved on, the old stores along the river struggled. The bank moved up the street to Main and Washington. Some buildings fell into disrepair. And in the late 1960s, the then Dover Township Committee took action. Using federal urban renewal monies, properties were acquired and buildings were demolished. My friend Manny Hirschbaum, the town clerk, administered the project, and he shared with me many accounts of the long, arduous process. The plan was simple: create a wide, open vista along Water Street, where Honey Park lay hidden all those many years. And that's the visual environment that we all know today. What left out of the puzzle was the Boatworks property, and the property near the Boatworks property. It wasn't located along Water Street, but was tucked away nearby, but also along the river. So I say to you tonight, it is a step forward to acquire this property, to expand that open vista downtown that was created a generation ago. So please, please vote yes. Our town's history calls for nothing less. And with that, I do have an aerial, black and white, of the Honey Park area. It's a mid-20th century, and I'll present it to the clerk, and you'll see that along Water Street, there are a series of buildings. They're not there anymore.
Can we keep that?
Yeah, you can keep that for the record. It was, the buildings were acquired and then demolished in the 1960s, but the Boatworks property was left out. for whatever reason. If you acquire this property tonight, you will be marching forward by expanding what was done back in the 1960s, that visual open space of downtown Collinsville. So please vote, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Tony Verso, Tony Rico. The only problem about this, I was here last time, and there's supposed to be liens against this property. Are there still liens against the property?
That's why we're doing this.
Hold on a minute. What paperwork do we have for environmental people that the ground is clean?
I think that's the idea. We're still in due diligence with the seller. Is that correct? I understand that.
You're looking to buy a piece of property,
Yes.
you don't have any paperwork?
There is an environmental study and it was fine. And, as far as that is the reason that we're doing the eminent domain is because we haven't been able to complete the purchase because the current owners have liens on all of their properties. So by doing it this way, we deposit the monies with the court. The township would.
It sounds like you're buying a car with a bad engine. That's
To you, yeah, to you maybe, not to the.
But adding,
You're guaranteed clean property.
well, we're the government, when we eminent domain, we don't have liens. We are the government.
No, I understand that.
Right, that's why we're doing this, because we're the government, and then we don't have to pay the liens,
The roundabout, the township's gonna own the property.
and we have a
That's the goal.
clean environmental
That's
report.
the goal.
That's the
Can't
goal.
wait.
And I don't have a problem building.
The Vista.
As long as everything is clean and clear.
Yes, the same. I echo that. And next month I'll be taxpayer like you. I'm gonna come to these meetings. I'm gonna say, you know what? I can't wait.
Taxpayers get involved with something, and you don't have any backup paperwork.
No, we addressed this initially, when we first purchased the property, we showed everybody that we had an environmental report.
We're good, well,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Phil Blaine, 79 College Road. Thank you. I formally urge this council to vote no on this eminent domain ordinance and to remand it immediately to the township's legal and engineering professionals so the 2026 council can address this matter lawfully and transparently and with public participation. This is not about opposing any specific use, a spray bar, tiki bar, or anything that may be dreamed up. This is about statutory compliance, due process, financial accountability, and the public trust. Condemnation powers exist to serve the public necessity, not advance agendas or one person's interest. Under New Jersey's Eminent Domain Act, condemnation must be supported by legitimate public purpose, a good faith effort to negotiate, and lawful evaluation process. The record before you tonight demonstrates none of that certainty. Let's be precise about the financial history. 2024, this council authorized the purchase of 1 Robbins Parkway for $1.8 million in taxpayer funds and floated a $2 million bond. At that very time, the property's approximate value was about $900,000, meaning this government body paid roughly twice market value without clear public explanation.
Not true.
That inflated number now becomes a legal problem between condemnation law that requires the township to demonstrate objective fair market valuations. Now, after a year of failed negotiations, the township proposes condemnation. That creates a dangerous scenario. The township is now actually bidding against itself, using the very price it improperly set in 2024, and exposing taxpayers to excessive compensation claims under both New Jersey Constitution, Article 1, Paragraph 20, and the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution, U.S. Constitution. Worse still, the property remains burdened by unresolved liens and title defects, including tax liens to the township of Tom's River, liens by the contractor who demolished the building, and the environmental contractor who completed an assessment of the property that nobody has seen because he has not been paid to release it. If condemnation proceeds, the township may or may not become legally responsible for those encumbrances, depending on how the court allocates interest. That uncertainty alone makes this ordinance reckless and feasibly indefensible, financially indefensible. Yet, despite this extraordinary risk, no updated independent appraiser, no title resolution certification, no engineering due diligence report, and no formal redevelopment plan, you want to proceed. that violates not just the spirit, but the intent of New Jersey's Local Public Contracts and Open Public Meetings Act. And here, part of the council cannot ignore it. Many residents have stated repeatedly that the prior administration did not listen to them when it came to downtown redevelopment plan. Now it's happening again. The residents of Toms River has not given input, there's been no public meetings, and there's no information relative to what the public wants in the Boatworth building. No hearings, no community display.
Thank you.
Please think about voting no. Thank you.
The fact that there's a contract for sale with the property owner currently will make it very difficult for them to dispute our evaluation or our appraiser's evaluation of what the property is worth in relation to the condemnation proceedings. So I just wanted to add that the fact that there is a contract for sale will be very beneficial to the town.
Can you please address the encumbrances?
And that was part of the reason of filing for it.
Because we're not on the hook for the money.
Thank you.
That'll be sorted out in the court.
Anyone else want to comment on this? On this, what is the?
Does it matter? You're just gonna vote.
Seeing none, motion to close public comment?
Right, does it matter?
All those in favor? Mr. Hanson?
We need a motion.
I'll motion as well.
Motion was made by Council President Lamb, seconded by Councilwoman O'Toole. Council President Lamb.
First of all, I want to thank Mr. Mutter, former mayor, for coming down and speaking eloquently about this. He has in the past. I've also saw his counsel. His history runs deep with this town. I love history. I love hearing about it. I love seeing the old pictures. My wife actually, for my birthday, took me on River Lady. What a cool experience that is if anyone's ever done it. The food is great. The ambiance is great. And actually, traverse down that river at, I don't know, 3 or 4 knots, kind of brings you back to the time when the British were, the loyalists were storming on down the river in their own boats. So it's kind of a neat experience. My belief is that we keep that area open, we create that vista as you spoke about, that openness. We need more access, more riverfront access. I would ask the mayor and administration going forward, when I'm a taxpayer next month, that we have some thoughtful planning on what that area will look like. Obviously, if you're a boater, the bulkhead and the dock liner is not that great. So obviously we need to get those issues firmed up. We gotta make that ground, make that area, make the boatworks great again. And I think that's a great idea, and therefore I vote yes, as I have in the past. Thank you.
Councilwoman O'Toole.
I would also like to add to that, as an admirer of Mark Mutter, who I've known for a number of years. He and I enjoy history. I am an old Civil War reenactor, so history means a lot. There's a lot of history in this town. Something that should be kept, and I've been on the river with you also a number of times, and it is a lot of fun. So my vote is definitely yes.
Council Vice President Coleman.
Yeah, I know there's an issue about the price, but I have friends who have built houses along the water recently, and the amount of money they paid for the lot was just unbelievable. Honestly, I'd be interested in an appraisal, a fair appraisal, but I will tell you, I think that we're actually gonna get a deal, because I know they paid well over $1 million for their lot, and it's not talking about the house, so I'm voting yes.
Councilman Byrne.
I'm voting yes, right off the bat. I want to say, I met Mark years and years ago, and the only thing I regret, we were always on the call, doing something, and we didn't have enough time to have a long conversation. I hope when I have more time, starting next year, I will have time to spend with him. He's a great man and very knowledgeable. And I vote yes.
Councilman Scotti.
I'm going to abstain again as at the first meeting, and I stated my reasons why, but I'm going to say it again. I hope the town can get this property for downtown and expand the park. We really need it. But I think I don't understand, if I had a contract with you, somebody here on your property, and we had a signed deal for this amount, and then there's riparian rights to the state, liens against the property, environmental issues and stuff like that, and then I want to say, hey, I'm going to change my mind, but I'm going to take your property for, not for nothing, but I'm going to use eminent domain because I can, and we're going to negotiate another price. This is going to be tied up for years, okay? So I'm just going to abstain, but I hope that we get this property.
Councilman Iverson?
I agree with everything Phil Brilliant said, and thank you, Phil, for being so thorough. But I don't want to lose this property for the town. I just ask that any redevelopment, the town has adequate input, and I mean adequate input, like with maybe a redevelopment committee. And I really don't think we need a spray park. With that, I vote yes.
Councilman Clemens?
Irony, Mr. Munner, weren't you also the same guy that a number of years ago, as you were of the Historical Society of Tom River, fought to keep the building as an historical piece of property, even though it was dilapidated? Just irony, right? Yeah. I abstained from this last time. This was the last time that this property's been on the market for over 20 years. Nobody's jumped at it in over 20 years.
What are you talking about? It's under
The
the
last offer, besides Capitol, the last offer before Capitol was under $900,000. So we way overpaid for this piece of property. We're at least at 1.84 that he bid on this thing is way overpaying for the property. Do I agree it'd be nice to have it? Yeah. There's a lot of environmental concerns. The water rights is an issue. Rebuilding a bulkhead and dock is going to cost us a lot of money, so I'm sticking with my original thing of abstaining.
Now we're moving on to the consent agenda. All matters listed under the item consent agenda will be enacted in one motion in the form listed below. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired on any item, that will be considered separately.
Thank you. Pursuant to code, members of council may ask for a brief discussion on a roll call. The specific item discussion shall remain relevant to the agenda item being discussed. Now, does any member of council want a roll call on a separate item or have a brief discussion? C. Anyone else?
D.
B. D. That's right, D. Anyone else? Mr. Hensel, I'm going to pull B for a roll call.
C, D, and E?
Yeah. Motion balanced.
Second? We need a second.
Second.
Motion to approve the balance of the consent agenda excluding C, D, and E was made by Council President Lamb, seconded by Council Vice President Coleman. Council President Lamb?
Yes.
Council Vice President Coleman?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Toole?
Yes.
Councilman Byrne?
Yes.
Councilman Scotti?
I have some issues with this.
This is the balance.
Just balance there first. We'll get to that in a second.
We took off C, D, and E.
All right.
So your vote, Councilman?
Yes.
Councilman Iverson?
Yes.
Councilman Clemens?
Yes.
Okay, we'll start first. David C. Mr. If you have a question, I'll ask Mr. Pascarella actually discuss this transfer.
There were several reasons that I'll let the CFO Gallagher address. I believe there were a couple of reasons, but the main one was a judgment that the township has to pay in relation to an eminent domain matter that came to a conclusion at the beginning of the year. A piece of property that was acquired by eminent domain by the Gallagher administration. The Gutman property, that's correct. And that was the reason that those funds had to be transferred, was to pay, was to satisfy that judgment, which pre-judgment interest was accumulating by the day, so that was the importance of getting that on for this. If there's anything else that I left out, Ms. Gallagher, you can.
Could I just, Gutman was, I think they split the payment, right? What were they looking for?
It was.
$8 million, right?
Yeah, correct.
$8 million.
Contract purchasers, appraiser, assessed the property at over $8 million. Our appraiser said that it was $5,450,000, and it actually wasn't even a split baby, Mayor. It was, the jury came back with an award of $5,850,000, which was $400,000.
That we owe them.
Correct, beyond what we had already deposited with the court. The judgment is in excess of 1.5 million due to a substantial amount that the township had to pay in prejudgment interest on that.
Because of the length of time,
That's correct.
8 years or whatever.
It was
Takes time to go through court.
unusually long, the eminent domain.
Just a form of knowing.
That's correct.
So that's the transfer, you gotta pay it, so you gotta move the money from places where you have the money to a location where you cut the check from, a line item exactly, so that's what these are.
Council President, could I ask a question on that matter? Wasn't 800,000 of that savings from the police department? Of that money?
Confused by your question.
The transfer funds, wasn't 800,000 of that money saved from the police department? Wouldn't that be better served?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Putting boots on the ground?
We don't, if it's coming, wherever it's coming from, we'll ask Don to come up and address where it comes from, but wherever it comes from, it only gets moved if it's not used in this cycle, and then there's a new budget next year, Tom. So at the end of the year, typically, things get moved around every single year. We've done these before.
I know that.
Right, so basically, if it's, wherever it's coming from, it's not allocated or not needed for this year, and that doesn't mean that next year we'll get money again. So the next budget, they're gonna get money. So it's stuff, wherever it comes from, I don't even know where it comes from. Dottie, you wanna share where it comes from? Yes. Yes.
Councilman, if your implication is that we shouldn't have paid the judgment, that would be problematic for the
No,
town and
no,
the interest.
there's no implication, it's just.
If you want, we get to hear from another spot, but it's not gonna matter. I mean, it's leftover money. It's money that didn't go out in overtime, for example. So there was the new schedule, not much overtime out there anymore. Overtime used to be $1 million a year. No coincidence, we have $800,000 floating around extra.
David, does that answer your question?
Well, I just want to pick up where Tom is because this administration saved $9 million, okay? They saved $9 million. At first it was 11, now it's 9, but.
It's 9%, 11 million.
So where's that money? Why do we have to move it from these different?
The money's all in the same place, David, it's just, there are line items, like when you have a budget, you have to have specific line items for specific things, and we don't have a line item for the Gutman property with the money in it. So we have to pay the Gutman property, so you gotta move it from places where you have it.
You just.
If we didn't say it wouldn't be there to use.
So the $800,000 will not go back in the police department budget for next year?
Tommy, if you explain it for him, please. We just-
No, next year's budget will be a whole new
Yes.
process, and the remaining amounts in this year's budget will stay there for one whole year, and then close to surplus.
Where else did the money come from?
Budget is standalone dollars.
Where else did the money come from besides that location? What other places? Just because we're hyper-focusing on one thing. Can you read? What else? IT,
Construction and inspection.
construction, building departments. How many departments there do you have? Can you count them for me? 9. So the money came from 9 different departments to pay off the Gutman property, which I wasn't around for a minute.
Probably all inherited.
Right, so that's your question, David.
Yes.
Right below the police one.
What's the what?
Right below the police, the 800,000 police, it's 300. What is that?
Social security.
Is that good, David?
Yes.
Motion C.
Motion was made by Council President
Thank
Lamb.
you.
Seconded by Council Vice President Coleman. Council President Lamb.
Yes.
Council Vice President Coleman. Councilwoman O'Toole.
Yes.
Councilman Byrne.
Yes.
Councilman Sikosi.
Yes, and I hope next year's budget doesn't get postponed again.
Councilman Iverson.
Yes.
Councilman Fudge.
Yes.
Okay, next on the list is D as in Delta. Who brought that? Okay, go ahead, Tom.
I'm just glad that we're expediting that and not carrying it over. There's a lot of pressure on the police department, and I'm really glad to see that.
Right.
Great.
Well,
Motion,
just to circle back to the 800,000, this is a 3% raise.
Okay,
So it's 3% raise for the FRP.
very good.
For 4 years,
Got it.
2% each year. So not less money, more money.
Thank you.
More money.
Motion D, I'm sorry, motion D, please.
Motion was made by Council President Lamb. Seconded by Council, Vice President Coleman. Council President Lamb.
Yes, again, as the mayor was saying there, this is a good 4-year deal again with our police supervisory union. I believe they're becoming PBA, that's correct, Mr. Pasquale, right? Correct process?
Yeah, that's, they already voted on it.
You know, and again, as this is coming purely from the taxpayer come next month, I really look forward to hopefully seeing more new hires at the next meetings, more promotions as those members leave. I believe, again, the police department, we need to bring them back up. I'm happy to see Chief of Police. I'm also happy to see our officers always here tonight, keeping us safe, so I vote yes.
Council Vice President Coleman.
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Toole. Councilman Byrne.
Yes.
Councilman Chakotay.
Yes.
Councilman Iverson.
Yes.
Councilman Quintus.
Sir? Yes.
Okay, next one's gonna be mine. The roll call, please, on E.
Motion was made by Council President Lamb. Seconded by Council Vice President Coleman. Council President Lamb.
Just first, I want to thank my fellow council members. I spoke to them for a while. Also, I want to thank in the back Mayor Dan Francisco from Englishtown for his counsel. I spoke to him for a while on this, a few months. He's been at the tip of his spear on this issue. You know, reimbursing our residents for this excessive fee is really important to me. And again, I spoke to the administration, Don, and the mayor is also on board. Exercising the right to carry is a fundamental constitutional right under the Second Amendment of our United States Constitution. And it's time more townships step up and push back against policies designed to discourage lawful gun ownership. For far too long, the loudest liberal voices in our state and county government, they're comfortable in their own ivory towers, have treated law-abiding citizens as the problem, weaponizing bureaucracy and taxation from cradle to grave. Tonight, Tom's River, and again, I thank all the council members that support me. We chose a different path, one that respects our residents, supports responsible gun owners, and stands firmly on the side of constitutional freedoms. I thank you for my colleagues up here to take a stand with me. I vote yes.
Council Vice President Coleman.
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Toole.
Absolutely.
Councilman Byrne.
Yes.
Councilman Chakotay.
I'm gonna vote yes, but, you know, I have my reservations about it, and we talked about it, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I just wanted a nominal fee on every renewal, every 2 years, $50. So,
Thank you
but
for
the
supporting
council
that.
president is right on everything that he said, the Second Amendment, and stated, so I vote yes.
Thank you.
Councilman Iverson.
Yes.
Councilman Quintus.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Hanson.
Mr. Renzo, if I may, on resolution F and G, I believe I need to abstain from both of those.
Okay, so we'll take roll calls on both.
That's fine. Roll call together, that's fine.
Can we get a motion on it?
Motion on F and G, please.
Second.
Motion was made by Council President Lamb, seconded by Council Vice President Coleman. Council President Lamb.
Yes.
Council Vice President Coleman.
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Toole. Councilman Byrne.
Yes.
Councilman Chakotay.
Yes.
Councilman Iverson.
Yes.
Councilman Quintus.
Yes.
I would just like to also wish Councilwoman Lynn O'Toole a happy birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. And I'd like to invite her out to dinner. You want to come out to dinner with me?
Item G, we need a motion and a second.
Motion G, please.
Second.
Motion is made by Council President Lamb, seconded by Council Vice President Coleman. Council President Lamb.
Yes.
Council Vice President Coleman.
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Toole. Councilman Byrne.
Yes.
Councilman Chakotay.
Yes.
Councilman Iverson.
Yes.
Councilman Quintus.
Abstain.
Moving on to the reports.
Motion report.
We need a
Second
second.
that.
Second was Councilman Quintus, I believe. Councilman Coleman, Council Vice President Coleman, thank you.
Jim and I both have the same voice.
Council Vice President Lynn?
Yes.
Council Vice President Coleman?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Toole? Councilman Byrne? Councilman Scotti?
Yes.
Councilman Iverson?
Yes.
Councilman Clemens? Yes. Moving on to the bills. Motion was made by Council Vice President Coleman, seconded by Councilwoman O'Toole. Council Vice President Coleman?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Toole? Council President Lynn?
Except to abstain from administrative salaries and yes to bills.
Councilman Byrne?
Yes.
Councilman Scotti?
No to Burke Esquire and no to Shore Media Groups. Yes to the rest.
Councilman Iverson?
No to Burke Esquire and no to Shore Network News, which continues to print lies and disparage every single person up here just about. Yes to the balance.
Councilman Clemens?
I have to abstain for, to vote for, Fire District Number 2 and Remington Burning, also Burke, Esquire and Shore News Media. Yes to the rest.
Mr. Hensel, I will now call on public comment. The public comment session will be for a total of 60 minutes. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes and will yield the floor to the next speaker upon completion of their statement or at the 3-minute mark, whichever comes first. Please line up at the center aisle in the hall, state your full name and address for the record. Yes. No problem. State your full name and address for the record. There will be no extra time granted for any reason, and no speaker may yield their time to another. Speakers, members of the audience shall remain at all times proper decorum and shall make their comments in a civil manner. Personal attacks, obscenities, slanders, or laundering remarks will not be tolerated, and they automatically cede your time. All comments or questions from a member of the public shall be directed to the council president, who is under no obligation to answer impromptu questions or address a remark. I ask the audience to remain completely quiet. Any instructions shall be treated as an interference in public meeting. I'll stop the speaker and ask the disrupting member of the audience to leave. Upon conclusion of this portion of the meeting, I may call on other council members, department heads, or the mayor to respond on topics presented during the public session. Mr. Hensel, please set the running clock for 60 minutes. I'm showing 7:43. And begin once the first speaker begins. May I have the first speaker, please? Oh, sorry, no. 1 second, please. Stop the clock. Go ahead.
I'd like to take this time right now to wish everyone a very happy holiday. Merry Christmas, a happy Hanukkah, also a very healthy, happy New Year. I am going to take this time to leave as I spent most of the day in the hospital. So if you'll excuse me, again, I wish you all a wonderful holiday.
You too. Thank you. First speaker.
Hi, my name is Tony Rockwell, 5608 Spring, resident of Beechwood. Here to support consent motion 8, supporting the Second Amendment. I'd like to thank all of you for supporting it. Beechwood passed a similar resolution 2 months ago. Again, just want to thank you all for what you're doing.
You're welcome. And Merry Christmas.
The microphone is
It's
on. It's like YouTube.
There's one on it. Happy to see you. Mr. Hensel, want to help you? We're giving that microphone. Try this one. Oh, that's on.
Testing 1, 2.
There you go.
Rise to the same region. Thank you, council, very much for supporting the agenda. I was just curious how the rebate may work.
Well, we discussed that with Dave. I was discussing with a few council members. And from what I was discussing with the police department, I'll leave it up to my successor to work with the administration to develop a plan. Again, the way it's determined is that the state gets the entire fee and there's a refund back to us. We're going to come up with a plan to be able to return that fee back to residents at $150 fee.
Excellent.
That's excessive.
You're doing, Tom. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you.
It's not working. You can't hear him.
Mayor, Councilman, for the same reason, just want to say thank you for asking this resolution to comply, for us to express our Second Amendment rights.
One of the biggest issues too is it's repetitive.
Yes.
Every 2 years you get whacked again.
I think
It's
the
not even
mayor-
once,
Yeah. Mayor Halloran, thanks for joining us.
We can't hear.
Mr. Lamb, thank you for the kind words during your commentary on the consent agenda. Mayor and council, good to meet you all. My name is Daniel Francisco. I'm the mayor in Englishtown out of Monmouth County. I'll just start out by saying Toms River holds a special place in my heart. I bought my first home here. I lived here for 8 years. I got married here. I went right down the hall to file my marriage application when I got married in 2016. So I'm not a stranger to this town. I have a lot of friends that work here, work in the police department, and work here in your town. So that does not go unnoticed by me. Town holds a special place in my heart. I was a litigant in federal court in a case called Francisco v. Cook that fought for carry rights in New Jersey, concurrently with the Bruin decision in the Supreme Court. And the eponymous carry killer bill of 2022 that passed in December of 2022 by our legislature, they modeled that bill off of my court order in Monmouth County Superior Court. So what you just voted on is because of my case. The people in the legislature took my court order from my judge and figured, how can we tyrannize the residents of New Jersey as effectively as possible? And that $200 fee, that was one of the linchpins of that 2022 bill. And it all became from my judge, which is interesting. So we didn't let it rest there. Got into office 2 years ago, and we decided in our little world, in our 2,300 person town, Englishtown, small borough, we were going to nullify that state law, much like your body just did, which I applaud you all for doing, for standing up for the natural rights of your residents. So, it's an easy moral position to defend. I mean, if you look at the First Amendment, there's 5 things protected there. One of them is religion. You know, we all attend churches, mosques, temples. It would be unheard of to have to go before your police department and ask permission to go to church after you go through a check and give a $200 cash payment to your police department and saying you cannot worship unless you go through this process and pay a fee. So this is an easy moral position to defend. It's easily applicable to other amendments. And I just come here out of humility tonight. I'm extremely honored to see the town that I used to call home joining this effort. And I just want you to recognize one thing. This might be a room of 100 or so people, sitting behind me. There's going to be millions of impressions on the internet across every legal scholar, every liberty nonprofit, every movement leader from DC to California is going to cover you this evening. You're going to have the NRA-ILA. You're going to have the Firearms Policy Coalition who fund my cases. You're going to have the Second Amendment Foundation and their C4 outfit, Citizens Committee for the Right to Keep and Bear Arms. They're the ones who personally, Alan Gottlieb wrote a letter to me asking us, imploring that we go through with this measure. So just know that there's a small piece of history today in you guys liberating your residents. So I humbly thank all of you for passing this measure, for protecting the residents of Toms River, and thank you, Mr. Lamb, for your kind words. Have a great evening.
Julie Adam at 69 Cedar Grove Road. One of the things I want to bring to everyone's attention is that there are again numerous street lights out in town, specifically Route 37 between Clifton Avenue and Route 166. I want to remind you that it is the township's responsibility to be handling this problem when these lights are out. It's not a person, it's not a individual resident that it's their job to take care of this issue. There's at least 10 streetlights that have been out for 9 to 12 months already that have been unaddressed. And many of these are in front of businesses, And if homeowners have to be responsible for reporting a light that's out in front of their home, then it seems to me common sense that a business should be required to report one that's out in front of their business. And I think something needs to be done through the township to make sure that this happens. I also want to talk again about the 18-wheel tractor trailers that are on Cedar Grove Road that are creating a public safety risk. For example, on the 3rd of December, XPO Logistics came traveling by my home and passed me when I was out walking, and at 10 minutes of 4. Well, it just so happens that we have the elementary school on the street, and that school lets out around that time. We have crossing guards, we have kids crossing Cedar Grove Road, and we have kids that walk. And this is a dangerous situation. I know that the township hasn't taken it seriously. They haven't put a resolution of support in place that the county had asked for so that this could move to the Department of Transportation for signage for weight restrictions for trucks. That has not happened. It's been 5 months. It's an embarrassment to the town. And when something happens to one of these kids or an adult on the street, you're going to be responsible for it. It's negligence on the township's part. Also, I want to bring to your attention again that Etkin Avenue and Charles Drive and Tom's River are in deplorable shape. It continues to be so, and nothing seems to be done in repairing these roads, but we have repaving for pickleball courts. We have lighted stop signs that go up at intersections that don't need them. And it's just puzzling the way money's being misspent and misdirected in town.
Thank you. Next speaker.
How you doing? I'm Michael Glenn. I'm here on behalf of the 11E, and I want to say thank you as well. I'm not a resident, but I'm a paramedic in this town, and I have 4 of my 7 children who were born in this town. So I like Clemson. It's really a nice place. You guys got to do something today that politicians typically don't get to do. You did the right thing. You did it for the people, and you did it on Christmas. You know what? God bless you guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And have a happy New
You
Year.
too. Thank you.
Tony Verso, 20 Rico Avenue. About a year ago, I brought up opening up specially paved roads. I was told to wait 3 months, coming up to a year. Still don't have an answer. Your engineer.
The whole is not paved?
Let the resident finish. Yeah.
All right? The way I read the ordinance, the way you guys wrote it, everything had to be paved. But the bottom line is, the patch is still there. I don't know what's going on. People on the block are asking me what's going on.
We're talking, man. Not friends of yours.
All right? I mean, how long do you have to wait? That's number one. Number two, I think it's time that transparency on Clifton Avenue comes to the public and finds out what's going on there, or what has been going on. It's like nothing's going on.
Well, actually, we got back 10 samples of the dirt just yesterday. I sent it over to the Asbury Park Press. I sent her a picture of it with zero fibrous materials. Zero.
I didn't mean
0% in the soil.
I don't mean to interrupt you. Do you have number 3 or 2? Is it? Do you have a number 3 as well, or?
No, it's basically,
All right.
As far as the hole in the road up,
that was ordinance for the curb to curb.
Right, it should be fixed, but perhaps we're waiting on the utility company.
Sure, that does happen.
So-
There is a delay to do that.
The stuff that you took down, where did it go?
What was taken
We
down?
refer to the stuff.
The buildings.
They go to the dump, no matter what they're made of. So like, let's
In
say,
other words, you're telling me asbestos goes to a dump?
absolutely, yeah. It gets taken there under state law by a guy who's got an asbestos license, who wets it or bags it and takes it to the same dump that you put your tomato
Why
cans.
did the county come in, and then the state come in after?
Because you and your friends called them all. Yeah, you and your friends call, and then you get up and you make.
Oh, I don't want to go back.
That's why.
Look, this is my last meeting, I don't want to get back and forth. All right.
The shingles,
All right.
the shingles,
Next
those
time.
shingles are on every
Thank
single
you.
house in this whole town.
All right, thank you.
80%
Next
of
speaker,
the
next speaker, thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Wood.
Bill Blaine, 789 Holly G Lane. I want to echo what the gentleman before Tony said. I will say, the past 2 years, tonight, we heard on multiple occasions, this is for the residents of Toms River. And I think that is what we all hope to hear all the time out of our council and our elected officials. And I think tonight, 2 years in, we did hear that. And that's, I think it may have been a little too late for some, but we're glad we heard that tonight. So I guess the mayor's left, but I still have some remarks. I'll make them. I wanted to make it very clear that I really don't plan on going anywhere. I've been in Toms River for 30 years, and I plan on staying for much longer, as long as, I still can, physically. Public service is about serving the people, protecting taxpayer dollars, and ensuring transparency. Earlier, I made an offer to the mayor, and it still remains out there. I will give up my TRMUA health benefits and donate my $2,000 a year to his favorite charity, has to be a legal charity, if he will give up his Toms River health benefits and save the taxpayers over $40,000. And the office will stand until December 19th. I think it's time for accountability, and we deserve that. We've collected over 10,000 signatures to recall Mayor Roderick with about 45 days to go. The dissent in this town is far bigger than the 13 members of the so-called Mohill gang. By the way, I would stand with Mayor Hill every day of the week and twice on Sunday because he is a man of respect, and I'm very happy to see that his picture has made it on the wall tonight. Though I've come to find out he made it on the wall tonight, and the person who was removed, that is a disgrace. Finally, to the outgoing council members. Councilman Byrne, it's good to hear your voice tonight. Best of luck. Council President.
First time all year.
We have not always seen eye to eye, but you have led this council this past year, and we need to respect you for that. And I respect you. My friend, Councilman James Quinlan, and I said your name right that time. You know what public service really looks like. To the remaining council people, incoming council members, January brings a new opportunity to restore trust, transparency, and accountability. Residents stay engaged, speak up, and demand answers. Your voices are stronger than any administration or misleading newspaper. Thank you. And to everyone here tonight, happy holidays, happy New Year. Let's make 2026 a year of honesty, transparency, and true service to Toms River. Mr. Roderick, Mr. Solanas, extend this. Toms River is our home. We aren't going anywhere. Thank you.
Happy Brzezinski, 1243 Coulter Street. At one time, Toms River had a green team. It's still on the website. The Green Team's mission is to assist Toms River Township become certified for the Sustainable Jersey program to maintain such certification. They're tasked with advising the township governing body with recommendations to make the community more sustainable and overall more livable community for its residents. A little bit about it, the Toms River United Sustainability Team, or TRUST, also known as the Toms River Green Team, was created in 2012. Its mission is to assist Toms River Township in being certified under the Sustainable Jersey program and maintain such certification. They're tasked with advising the township governing body with recommendations to make the community more sustainable and more livable for its residents. They coordinate and collaborate with various environmental groups, Toms River Regional School System, and other community partners. They're an active community that needs more. The Green Team has been successful with achieving bronze certification for 2 rounds, where they're trying to achieve silver certification. The benefits of becoming certified include being eligible for funding made available to certified communities under Sustainable Jersey and assisting the township to improve its municipal scorecard, which makes the community eligible for state grant funding. When they were around, they were from 2012 to 2020. This pandemic with COVID, there was Stall was one of the contacts, and that's Baumgartner. I don't think they're with the township anymore. They were able to secure a $20,000 grant to assist Toms River regional schools. They had speaker series, they had programs to promote our parks. Energy affordability is a really huge issue right now. There's
a lot of money out there to help residents and municipalities to reduce their energy bills. And so I'd like to propose that we get the real team started back up.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Good evening, Council President, Council, Kevin Gagan. My address, Mayor Roberts Head. Now, I do want to congratulate, and if you had any impact, Justin, thank you very much for putting Mohill's picture up there. It's long overdue. However, at the direction of Mayor Robert, my father's picture was ready. I know you didn't, and you know, think of it if you had a crazy mayor from Minnesota left, and took your dad's picture down there for all the years of service. Mayor Robert, if he's not going to, of course, the coward ran out. If he's not going to use the health benefits and the mental health plan, maybe his health benefits should be stripped. I wish you all luck. Justin, I know we haven't always agreed. I wish you the best of luck, you and your wife. Thank you, Councilman Willis. Good luck. The rest of you, Greg, I'm sorry that you're intimidated by a mayor. I really think it's senior abuse. Have a good day.
Well, once again, took his ball and pulled as soon as it got a little warm. Couple things. First of all, to those of you leaving, Mr. Byrne, I wish you all the best. I hope you rest easily at night now, knowing that you don't owe him anything moving forward, because it truly is terrible. You seem like a kind man, and you didn't deserve to have the thumb on you that he had. So for that, I wish you well. I hope you go home tonight and sleep well, knowing the weight is off your shoulders. Justin, we know what our back and forth has been. I wish you well. I look forward to seeing you here as a taxpayer, and I hope that you do actually see some more from our viewpoints.
I was happy.
But I would like you to also speak on that as well, as a taxpayer.
Sure.
Jim, I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. Tom's River, the residents of your ward blew it for everybody. They took a man who his top priority was the residents and doing the right thing for the residents, the safety, the well-being, the quality of life, and they gave it to somebody who will just sit there and nod yes to everything. He said it himself, it's on video, we all saw it. To the rest of you, Mr. Coleman, Ms. O'Toole, I'm sorry she wasn't feeling well again. I really hope that you understand that the disdain for the man who calls himself the mayor of this town, who has defeated our police department, shut down our animal shelter, and continues to spend money allocated for our police department on catching up on other bills because he spent so much money throughout the summer on fireworks and concerts and unnecessary nonsense, like knocking down 2 homes that I'm not buying one bit of it. There's asbestos in that ground. I was there, the people were there.
Let's
You know
not
what?
interrupt the
You know
speaker.
what, this is not
All
your
right.
meeting, and I'm gonna say it to you now. You have no room to talk.
Don't make false allegations.
Don't interrupt the
You
speaker. Don't interrupt the speaker.
Don't make false
Please
allegations.
don't interrupt the speaker. Come on, Johnny Cakes.
I'm not gonna listen to false allegations. Johnny Cakes, stop it.
Please stop that.
I'm gonna stick around so that Councilman Knox can get these,
Please stop yelling, please.
allegations.
What was that, Johnny Cakes? Please stop yelling.
What does that imply? What are you implying, Councilman? What are you implying?
Please stop yelling out. It's the last meeting. Let the speaker finish. Please don't call out. And please don't call out for the days, please. When you grant Mr. Mullen extra time, please let her finish her comments. Please don't interrupt again, okay?
Mr. Coleman, as I was starting to say, you are a kind gentleman. I believe your heart is in the right place. I just really wish that you would speak